Hello everybody and welcome back to another blind commentary of Made in Abyss episode 8. As per usual, there's the outro time if you would wish to skip to that. So yeah, they are now, they are supposed to be undergoing a test made by Ozen to survive in the second layer. And we'll see how that exactly pans out. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly are the dangers that await them. And without further ado, let's get on with the show. I haven't talked about it, but it's interesting that they have chosen the whistle to be the symbol for cave raiders. I wonder exactly why that is, because usually you'd expect it to be something with a really practical function, but I don't really see a whistle being that useful unless you use it for communication. It's odd. What an interesting hippo creature. I wonder why exactly it is in the lake. It's interesting to see, like, it looked very much like a hippo. Hippopotamus. I wonder why exactly it is waterbound. Cool. I quite like that we are getting some background for Ozen as well. It's and it's apparently connected to the training that the kids are doing, so it makes kind of sense that she is recounting her past like that. And I do quite like the direction that the show is taking in showing Ozen's past like that, because Ozen is certainly a very intriguing character, and I like to know more about her. So yeah, it's good.
すまない、オーゼン。少し一人にさせてくれ。厄介事を引き受けたもんだ。
I hadn't mentioned it before, but I like how Ozen is connected to Rico in a very, very visceral way. I very much like that there's such a connection between the two of them. It certainly makes the relationship between the two of them all that much more gripping.
安心しなよ。私は義理がたいのさ。
ちょっと安心しました。お腹空いてません。何か持ってきます。
I like how bubbly Merulk is. She's certainly bringing a light to the party. I quite like her personality. It makes for a very good contrast to Ozen at the very least. That the two watchers in the Seeker camp are so wildly different.
もう10日も経つのか。オーゼンにやられた痛みも気づけばもうないな。リコ闇鍋が効いたのかね。よし、修復完了だ。この模様こんな形だったっけ。
I wonder what exactly is going on with Reg's helmet. It certainly is very interesting. I wonder if it's a relic that has some kind of special power to it. It most likely is, because otherwise it would be such a huge Chekhov's gun. I wonder if we're gonna ever get to see what it exactly does.
なんだろうなこれ。それにしても。
ないとすれば、彼女が無事である可能性はよっぽど高い気がしないかい？
The whole time passing differently in different layers, that certainly makes it that's a very interesting feature for the Abyss to have. The fact that the time passes differently. The flow of time is scattered in Lorgren. Ooh, Dark Souls reference. It's interesting that the time flow is changed between the different layers, even though even if it is only perception of time.
境新しきボンドルト
I like that we are getting our first visuals of the other white whistles that are alive. Though they all had quite the different like titles, so that's certainly rather interesting.
今潜ってるのはこのさボロボロのように見えるけど驚いたよそれ私の力でも破れないんだ
Oh! Interesting that even the paper itself is relic. That is very peculiar. Very, very peculiar. That's going to be an interesting plot point to see whether any of the other white whistles especially are tied to that. I mean, they most likely are. That's kind of the clue that the show is given to us, so it would make sense at the very least.
一体奈落の底でライザと共に待ってるもの殲滅のライザがあまたの血を吸わせた獲物
It's a pickaxe that's a weapon. That's very special. And it belonged to Liza at the very least. I was wondering if they were going to get some equipment down the line, and if it's a weapon, that's even greater news because then they can use it to ward off the creatures of Abyss. So that's pretty interesting to see what kind of equipment they got.
例の常しえ港の群生地に棒標みたいに刺さってた
だけで苦伝されているという秘密の数々
Why are we not hearing that? I would like to hear those secrets, but I suppose that's too much to ask of. I would love to have heard what she is saying.
おそらくは人が持ち得る最も深いアビスの声だった深海5層の海を越えるための謎めいた仕掛けのこと白笛の音色はある種の異物を起動する鍵であること
Oh, so white whistles are special. They are. I said earlier that I was wondering why they chose whistles as their symbols, but apparently they also function as keys for some relics, which makes quite a bit of. It doesn't make sense so much, but it means that there's some special meaning to the bells at the very whistles at the very least. It's pretty. It's an interesting sort of thing for the show to have.
何人かの白笛が見たという深海7層の
私の弟子は優秀なんだただな
By the way, this is the first shot we got of Liza's eyes, actually, which is quite something that we are now seeing her eye, because eyes do tell quite a bit of a story, so she's got quite beautiful eyes, I must say.
リコは私にとってあまりにも大事なんだやってほしい
自分が動く死体かもってことかね
そうだ
How mean of her mother to want to tell her that she's a living corpse. That's really quite a mean thing for her to say, even though I suppose it is quite a revelation to know of. So I suppose it makes sense. It's just an interesting, it's peculiar thing for her to say. Well, that was quite an ending to their little training arc. Even though I said I would be happy to have a little longer, to have a training arc in this part of the show, I'm pretty happy that they kept it to the very minimum that it needed to be, and instead kept on building up some mysteries and kept building on character and such, which really is certainly quite a bit more efficient and more effective than just showing a training arc instead. So yeah, the show is certainly doing a very good job at that, and I do think that this time around the show's pacing was very spot on, very correct. Especially since they had to juggle the little training arc. The correct length for a training arc is always quite a kind of a thing as in question, but I think that show handled it rather well. And now they are heading off to, well, to the third layer. The show really likes to take its time, and I wonder if we are actually gonna even reach the fourth layer in this season of the show. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, because that it would make sense that they keep slowing down by every layer. So, well, I suppose we'll just see. So with that, I thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Janmu out. Thank you very much for watching.